All right, folks, welcome to the Friday main event. This is our Blue Cross Bowl recap edition of the Friday main event. First of all, let me explain why Mr. Lee Teat's up in this, on this side, I guess it is, in this little square. Got home this morning, found out I had a family member with COVID symptoms. So I told Lee, man, I don't want to take a chance. We did go get a test done. We didn't get the results back yet, but I told Lee I don't want to take a chance. You know, it is 2020. So I got Lee remote, though. Lee, you ready, brother?
Yes, sir. I am ready to rock and roll.
That's a pretty good picture of you, man. I might have did you a favor doing it this way. At least you didn't have to shave for this one, did you?
That's true. My dome's shining up there, I see.
That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I leave a hat on. I could probably do the same thing. Well, Lee, let's get started with 1A, man. Probably without a doubt, I think probably the biggest upset. You know, I can't remember a bigger upset when we were up there. Have you?
No, Mike. I mean, I'd have bet my house on South Pitt. You know, I've said it all year long. I thought they were the best 1A team I'd seen, top to bottom. But just a phenomenal performance by Fayetteville, man.
Yeah, that game, Lee, the final score ended up 20-14. You know, Fayetteville scored there with a couple of minutes left, I think, in the game, and I think the whole stadium thought Fayetteville's inability to kick an extra point was probably going to be the downfall. I really thought South Pittsburgh would march, you know, down the field, kick an extra point, and win the game by one, but just didn't happen, did it?
No, this you know, time management towards the end of the game did not go in South Pittsburgh's favor, but just like I said, man, hats off to Fayetteville. They just had a crazy good performance.
Yeah, they did. And talking about a crazy good performance, man, KJ Jackson, Lee, that kid, I was really impressed as a freshman, man. Really impressive output from him there in that game Friday.
Unbelievable, man. Went for 227 on 30 carries.
Yeah, he's legit, man. He's a real deal. Lee, let's cut to we had Coach Kenny Morrison, man. He was really excited. So let's cut to that interview with him right now and hear what he had to say about the game. Coach Morrison, heck of a win for your team. What's your thoughts on the game?
I'm a loss for words right now. Such a phenomenal thing for our community. You saw the support up in the stands. They believed in us. Our coaches believed in us. Nobody else across the state gave us a shot. Our kids believed in phenomenal outcome tonight. I'm at a loss for words. I'm so tickled for our people and our kids and our community.
I've been coming here a lot of years. I've never seen the head coach come over and high-five the stands. That was great, Coach.
Oh, hey. One of the guys right there behind me graduated high school with me back in 1986. Drove all the way here from Nashville to see it. Just my dad down there, who's 86 years old, been beside me the whole way, been my mentor. He's the reason that these kids believe in me and what we preach, because he raised me the right way.
Coach, you had a heck of a game plan. Talk just real quick about that freshman Jackson, man. What a game he had.
I've told everybody across the state that he's special, and I'm going to tell you, Hunter Frame, phenomenal young man over there. KJ, if he's not in the talks for Mr. Football across this state over the next 3 years, there shouldn't be any votes allowed. That guy is phenomenal on this stage to do what he did tonight, this afternoon. Unbelievable. And we knew he's special, but that guy rose up.
Coach, you told me pre-game that you didn't match up too well with these guys size-wise. I don't think you can measure out hard that team.
No. I'm not going to lie. I said something to several people that they've got something different on their cameras than we do, because I didn't see that size. When they walked out here, they tilted the field on us. Head taller than all of us, just monsters across the board. And hats off to Coach Grider and his bunch. They do a phenomenal job. Our kids fought probably because they're so sick of me talking about South Pitt since the first time I walked on our campus. That's what we want to model our program about. And to beat them on this stage was phenomenal for our kids to match up to that bunch tonight.
Last thing, Coach, you're young.
you guys have got a great chance to get back there next year.
We're gonna enjoy this one. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna enjoy this one for a long time. We'll start talking about next year, but yeah, we're young, 8 seniors. We're losing some good seniors, but we got some good young ones coming, and we got a good group in the middle school coming to us. So we hope to be here. We told our kids on the sideline when it was going on, anything less than 15 games will be a disappointment for us, and we know Trenton Peabody and all them are coming in to 1A. It's going to be a fight for us to get back here, but we're going to enjoy this one right now.
We appreciate you letting us be a part of it, Coach.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right, Lee, that was Coach Kenny Morris. Man, that dude was so excited, and he should be. He had a lot of family up. I think he said he had an old high school buddy come in from Nashville. So what a great win for those guys.
Yes, sir, man. He was stoked, and I tell you what, he's got a lot to be looking forward to, man. He was so young. I think, what did he say, 2 seniors or something? Or I can't remember what he told us, but he's got to be excited for the future. Yeah,
no doubt, Lee. You're right about that, and we mentioned KJ Jackson, but they got a lot of tools there. Holdmeyer at quarterback had a really good game for him as well. Of course, he didn't have to do much, the way that rushing attack was. I think other than I think they had 10 penalties, Lee. Other than that, they played a pretty darn good ball game, didn't they?
They did. I mean, the interesting statistic to me, Mike, was if you look at the stat line, South Pittsburgh had more first downs. Pretty close time of possession. I think Fayetteville might have had it 4 or 5 more minutes total in the game. But
right.
One thing I think, too, that hurt South Pittsburgh is Jared Stone went down. Sometime in the second half, he got hurt, and that did not help them.
Right.
Mr. Football candidate on defensive side of the ball, that didn't help them any. But if you look down the stat line, you pretty much see the score.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It was close all the way around. I think Jackson ended up with 227 yards rushing. You look at Hunter Frame; he had 97 yards on 23 carries, so he was real busy. Braden Sanders really didn't get a chance to put the ball in the air a lot. He was 8 of 13 for 89 yards. I think he did have 1 pick. But Fayetteville's defense, I thought. From a speed standpoint, Lee, and we talked about that before the game, I thought they really showed, that they was able to contain the corners and did a really good job with Frame keeping him under 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, they did, man. I was kind of the surprise, DeAndre Kelly had 66 yards, I think, on 13 carries. And, South Pittsburgh, in all honesty, Mike, I was with you on that. I thought they were going to drive it down late, score, and kick the extra point to win, and the clock got them.
Yep.
That's just the bottom line. The clock got them. I think Coach Grider had to burn a timeout early in the second half, and he probably wish he had that back. But, man, that was an awesome game.
It was, Lee. And we did catch KJ Jackson after the game, and here's what he had to say about the win.
Mike Molder with MVP KJ Jackson. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well, sir.
What about that game, man? Talk about it a minute. You had a heck of a game.
Hey, it was a dogfight, so I couldn't do it without my lineman and my coach. He put in hold on, stutter a little. I'm happy, but he put us a great game plan. We executed it well, and my lineman did what they were supposed to do, and we got the win.
KJ, I thought you come up injured there early in the second half. You okay now?
Oh yes, sir. Hey, when we win, pain go away.
I think it was 31 carries tonight, man. That was unreal. And you're only a freshman, man. You guys are going to be back next year, I think.
Oh, yes, sir. The Lord say the same. We will be here next year.
Well, congratulations, buddy. Go enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you.
Lee, I caught a lot of flack about my fireman's uniform there. I guess you heard Jason Dobbs and them guys. They had a fun. I think David Watson. They was all giving me a hard time. Krieger. I wasn't. Obviously, you can see by the video, man. It was raining pretty good, especially during that 1A game. So I was happy to be in that fireman's outfit.
Well, the weather was atrocious Friday.
Yeah.
It was. But man, I tell you what, Mike, what a smile on a kid.
Yeah, he's a good-looking kid, man.
Lights up when you're talking to him. And one thing that I commented on, and I even told several of the coaches up there this weekend, very poised for a freshman to do an interview, and the first thing out of his mouth is congratulating his offensive line.
That's right.
You don't hear very many freshmen that would even think that way.
Yeah, he was definitely mature beyond his years, and
Yes, sir.
future is very bright for that kid, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Well, let's hear what the captain, what Coach Vic Grider had to say about the game, Lee. I know Roy Dillard's about to die to hear this interview, so here's what Coach Grider had to say about it.
Mike Molder with Coach Vic Grider. Coach, tough one, buddy. What's your thoughts?
Well, we didn't come here to finish second. Credits to them. They outplayed us. They outcoached us. Controlled the line of scrimmage, which is what surprised me. I wasn't sure they were capable of doing that, but credit to them. They figured out a way to win the football game. Proud of our kids to get here, but obviously it's not what we wanted.
How much was the weather a factor, Coach? I know that kind of hampered you a little bit throwing the ball in the second half when you needed to, especially in that last drive.
Yeah, I think it was more in the second half than it was the first. We didn't do a very good job of managing the clock there at the end and looked a little bit disrattled a little bit, but again, there's no excuses. We just didn't execute. We didn't block them at the line of scrimmage, and we didn't tackle them at the line of scrimmage, and they deserved to win the football game.
What about the freshman Jackson? Was you impressed with how he played?
Yeah, that guy's a player. We knew that going in. We'd seen enough film to know that guy was very elusive and tough to get on the ground, and showed it tonight. It's been a long time since somebody put 200 yards rushing on us.
Coach, the team played hard. Hunter Frame, talk about him for a minute. A heck of a senior year for him.
Yeah, well, what a year that guy's had. No excuses. I mean, Hunter left it all out there just like we knew he would, but I hate we come up short for all those seniors. They've been a really good group. It's won a lot of football games, and just wasn't our night tonight.
Well, Coach, good season overall, man. You guys will be back. We appreciate your time.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach said pretty much what everybody else said, Lee. They got outplayed, they got outcoached, and time management was bad there at the end of the game. I mean, he's a pretty sharp dude. He knows, pretty much what everybody else saw.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I think if they had another minute or so on the clock, the result might have been different. But that's why you play the game, man. You got to line up and play it. And I think, like I said, hats off to Fayetteville, man. They didn't back down. I mean, everybody had South Pittsburgh in that game, and if you didn't, I think you're crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they didn't back up.
What was your overall take of the game? My overall take, Lee, is that Fayetteville's got a good shot at being back here again next year.
I think so. I think with Peabody moving down to 1A, that's going to definitely strengthen up the west side of the bracket. But Fayetteville's so young, man, and to play the way they played, and they've had two really good seasons back to back. They didn't lose a game last year on the field.
Right, that's exactly right.
And they come out this year and they lost to Gordonsville, but I think they were down 2 or 3 players in that game. So, hey, man, Kenny Morrison is going to be right back in the hunt.
And I really like his attitude, man. He very positive, and he's easy to approach. I really enjoy talking to him.
Right, and I think South Pittsburgh, their stable is still going to be loaded. They're obviously going to have to go get a quarterback, and I'm sure they've been developing one.
Yeah.
But as far as from a talent perspective, they're coming right back with a bunch of those offensive linemen, a bunch of those receivers. DeAndre Kelly's back. They got some younger freshman kids that are coming up. So South Pittsburgh's going to be right back in the mix again too. So.
You gonna make a prediction for next year? We're gonna wait till the spring show to do that.
Yeah, I'll probably wait until the spring, but I definitely see these two teams progressing deep playoff runs.
I think so too, Lee. Let's move on into 2A, my friend. I don't need a break. You good to go?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll. Well, that was more of the same. The Peabody Golden Tide, Lee, looked really good again this year. Man, we thought early preseason after they lost Cooper Bogus and a lot of those kids that, were instrumental in that back-to-back win, state title wins, they may take a little step back this year. But they had some kids that stepped up. Draquan Vaughn turned out to be the MVP up there, and they had a really good run. Lee, 35-13 was the final. And there for a while, I didn't even think it was going to be that close. Did you?
No, I mean, Meg started getting a little bit, getting their feet under them a little bit towards the third, midway through the third quarter. But it seemed like every time they would get some type of momentum, Peabody would answer. But Draquan Vaughn, man, he's a special player, and he scored 3 TDs, and he's a solid kid. And I thought Driggers, man, he didn't have a lot of yardage, but I thought Driggers played very poised.
Right.
The quarterback. I thought he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He didn't turn the ball over, and hey, man,
I think
hats
he's a
off,
sophomore.
dude. What is that?
Isn't he,
Yeah.
Lee?
I think that's right. What are the 36 straight?
Man,
I think it's
that
36
sounds right.
straight victories for Peabody.
Yeah. And then you look at the stats you just mentioned. They were really a lot closer than what the score indicated. I think it was 255 to 215. Peabody led total yards. Looking on down, Lee, practically every category these teams, time of possession, they were within 3 minutes of each other. It's a lot of the games up there this weekend, it was that case. Although the score didn't indicate it being a close game, and you look down the stat line, and other than the score, you wouldn't really know who won the game, would you?
Right. And like you said, you got to get it in there. And Megs, each time they got into the red zone, they scored, but Peabody scored every time they got it into the red zone. But I think one thing for me, Mike, was when Peabody converted on two out of their 3 fourth-down attempts to extend drives.
Yeah.
And those are big, trying to get your defense off the field, because Shane Jacobs in that second half, man, he just decided we're running this football. And, man, Khalid Ganaway, he went for, 109 yards on 20 carries. And, I mean, they just decided they're going to pound it, and you got to get off the field. You got to get your defense off the field. And I think when they converted those fourth downs, it hurt Megs.
Draquan Vaughn, we mentioned him, the MVP, Lee. He got that tough yardage, I
Yes,
thought,
sir.
yesterday. 3 TDs. He only had 91 yards, but 3 TDs. He played really good on defense. He was definitely a difference maker, and we got an interview coming up with him. Logan Carroll, the kid on the other side of the football at QB, I thought he had a really good game. He's a really hard-nosed, tough kid. He did a real good job of containing Will Meadows, the Mr. Football candidate at Meigs. And I think that may have been the difference in the game. It's obvious that Jacobs came in with a game plan that they weren't going to let one guy beat him. I think he had 79 yards, Lee, on 24 carries, only averaged 3.3 yards a carry. I think as much as anything, the ability to contain Will may have won that game.
I think so. The defensive game plan from Peabody was as good as I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, they played. They didn't get beat. They didn't get burnt. They were in position. They were making the tackles when they needed to make tackles. They just played a well-rounded game, man. I mean, that's just hard to beat them. They're good everywhere.
I had to get on my friend Shane Jacobs a little bit, Lee. He didn't wear my hat that I carried it all the way up there to Cookeville for him to wear, and he didn't put it on. So during that interview that we had with him, I kind of give him a hard time about that. I'll let you guys hear that now.
Here with Shane Jacobs, back-to-back titles, brother. How is it?
Man, it's awesome. 3 in a row is incredible. It's an incredible run that our seniors have been on. They finished their career 43-1, 3 state titles. It's hard to have a better senior class than that. Really proud of our guys, really proud of our coaches, and just a huge win. Really, really special for this town.
Draquan Vaughn had a big game for you guys. Got the MVP. Talk about him for a minute.
Oh, Draquan's a great kid. Great kid. Of course, Kalik is our featured tailback, but Draquan gives us a punch in there, and so I'm so proud of Draquan. Played so well on both sides of the ball, and really excited that he got MVP. Kid deserves it. He's a great kid.
I was a little disappointed because I brought a hat to you today, and you was going to wear it at the title game. What happened, man?
Well, I meant to. I gave it to somebody, hold on to me, and then Lee put it in his truck or something. But that was a promise I made. I'm going to wear that hat during the game, I promise.
You know how much advertising money I lost off that?
I imagine not much. I don't think I do a whole lot for your advertising.
Hey, brother, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate you letting us be a part of this season, will you?
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, Coach.
Lee, that's what's so great about the show that we do. 11 out of 12 guys that were in those title games, we had a real good rapport with them. We've had them on the show before, and I think the guys that are watching the show, they should be able to tell we genuinely like each other. I think and I think you'll see that with all the coaches, and that's what makes this so much fun for me.
That's right, man. And Mike, like you said, that was just a good game. But Peabody, they're just so good at everywhere. They don't really have a weakness.
And Lee, they're real senior heavy on the line. I think that's going to be the biggest concern once they drop down to 1A
Right.
next year. They're losing a lot of big guns on the line, including our buddy Lee Hayes' son.
That's right.
I think if he can shore up that offensive line with some new faces, I expect them to be a contender again next year, don't you?
I do. I mean, they're like you said, they're going to have some guys back, and they always have speed, and they're going to be very well coached, and I see no reason for them not to be pressing in the 1A.
Well, Lee, we had Mr. Football finalist Khalid Ganaway join us for an interview too. We'll go ahead and play that now.
Big game for you, brother. Big season, man. You Mr. Football finalist. Talk about the season.
It's been great so far. I can't really thank. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my fans, my family, especially my O-line, especially my QB, Sam. My backup court. Well, not even backup. The other running back, Draquan Vaughn. He deserves everything that he gets his way. He deserves it. I want to thank the coaches too.
Your brother and you both be back next year, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're coming for a 4-peat. Yes,
Coming
sir.
for a 4-peat. You hear that, Lee?
Yes, sir.
What about I know you're just a junior. You got any colleges talking to you yet?
No, sir. I haven't.
What about the Mr. Football? What does that mean if you was able to pull that one off?
I'd be pretty happy.
Well, Lee and I, we submitted your nomination, man, so we hope you have a good shot at it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Clee.
Yes, sir.
He's a good kid, Lee. I was surprised, man. He's not that big to have amassed the kind of yardage he did this year. I think that big old offensive line was doing their job, man. Because I didn't realize he was small as what he was.
Well, he's got a big heart, and I tell you what, he runs that ball between the tackles hard.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
One thing that I like about him, Mike, and as I was watching the game, is he does a good job. He never gets hit clean.
Yeah.
He does a good job with his pad levels and a good job of when he is about to get hit, he deflects it. He doesn't take a lot of solid shots, and I think that helps with his durability. But his offensive line, like you said, they were just good, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's just good.
He's definitely very athletic, very agile. I really enjoy watching him and his brother Malik. His brother did a good job in the passing game as well. They're very, very gifted athletes in that family.
Yes, sir.
Lee, we also had the MVP, Draquan Vaughn, on. I'll go ahead and switch over and we'll listen to that interview with him.
Draquan Vaughn, MVP, brother. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good. I mean, I worked hard for it. I mean, it's just a blessing to be here. I thank y'all for giving me this, and I'm thankful for my skills that God gave me.
Well, man, you had a big game offense and defense. Which side of the ball do you like playing on the best?
It's definitely offense. But, I play defense because they need me there, so I'm going to come through for my team. I'm going to do what I need to do.
Now, you're a senior, correct?
Yes,
you got any plans for college? You know where you're going yet?
I don't know where I want to go, but I know I want to go play at the next level. It doesn't matter where. I just want to play.
Which championship was sweeter? Was this one better for you, or kind of rank them, man? What was the most important championship you've been in?
This got to be number one.
Number one.
I played a big part in this, so this has to be number one for me.
Well, you had a heck of a game, brother. Appreciate it, and good luck next year when you head off to college.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
All right, Lee. We to kind of recap this 2A Meigs County. As they got a lot of kids coming back next year as well. So I think, Coach Fitzgerald, and we talked about that, man, that his overall record last 5 or 6 games, and he mentioned in an interview we had with him, and they're, one of the best over the last 5 or 6 years teams in the state. Well, I'm talking all classes. He's done a heck of a job over there, hasn't he?
Yes, sir. I mean, you got to be happy with them. They're there, and I fully expect them, to reload and. He's like we say, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Mike. You hate to see one of these coaches lose because they're two of our probably the most down to earth guys.
Right.
Easy to talk to, and they have a good time, but they're always accessible to us. And you hate to see one of them lose. But man, hats off to Meigs County, man. They got there again.
It's going to be interesting next year, Lee. They got put over in a different region next year. They'll be in with Bledsoe County, Marion County, so there's going to be a lot of new faces in their regular season lineup. And then we talked about Peabody dropping down to 1A. I think they're going to be in with Lake County and Dresden and some of those perennial good 1A teams over there. So next season is going to be a lot different for these two teams, isn't it?
Yeah, 2A will take on a little different dynamic, but I think Meigs will, I think they're going to be fine. They'll push. It's going to be a little tougher region.
Yep.
But sometimes that's a good thing.
And another thing, by getting put in that new region, they're going to have to play, the Trousdale counties and the water towns a little quicker. They could
Right. I
potentially
think
see them.
quarterfinals now, right?
Yeah, it will be quarterfinals, second round potentially, depending on how
Second
it plays
round
out.
potential. That's right.
Yeah, because I think they're going to be in Region 3, and of course those guys are in Region 4. So you're going to see second and third round matchups between Bledsoe, Meigs, Trousdale, Watertown. Man, that's going to be a tough quad to get out of next year, no doubt.
I think so.
So we did get our good buddy Jason Fitzgerald on with us, Lee, for an interview. Let's go ahead and play that now.
Coach Jason Fitzgerald and Meigs County. Coach, come up a little short. You guys had a heck of a season, didn't you?
We did. I told our kids over there, you're not going to look at it tonight and be proud of what you've accomplished, but when we go back and talk about it a month from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, with what you've done at Meigs County High School, I think in the last 5 years we're 62-7, and hats off to Peabody. They're a hell of a football team, and you guys know, I tell you all the time, if you win the line of scrimmage, you're going to win a football game. They won the line of scrimmage in the first half. I thought we came back in the third quarter and part of the fourth quarter and won the line of scrimmage, and it showed. We just dug ourselves too big a hole right there.
Coach, you're going to be shocked when you see the final stats, man. They are almost dead even all the way across the line. I was amazed at the score differential because, the stats say the game was tied.
Yeah, we get the stats would be even more if we don't get that. If we don't get that touchdown called back. We're within a touchdown in the fourth quarter, but it is what it is. And all I'll say for my bunch is we were down 28-0, and we didn't quit fighting. And we kept fighting and got back in the football game, and I'm just as proud as I can be of them.
It was kind of mirror image from last year. You guys jumped on them, and I told the guy in the media tent, I said, look out, they're coming back. So made a good run at it, though.
And we did, and hats off to our kids and coaches and community. It's just proud of everybody, everything. We've had a great run here, and we just want to keep it going.
This one hurt me. Lee and I talked about it because Coach Jacobs and yourself, you're two of our favorite coaches, man. We appreciate you always being, willing to join us, and we hate to see either one of you guys have to lose this.
Well, we appreciate you guys, too, and everything you do for high school football. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
See you.
Good dude right there, Lee. I always really enjoy talking to Coach Fitzgerald, and I'm really proud of the fact, Lee, I couldn't say this for sure, but I don't think any other media outlet anywhere in the state that you're going to find, and you guys can check this out and make sure I'm right, I don't think anybody else had all 12 coaches interviews, because the way they did things this year in the format was a lot different because of this COVID, but we really went out of our way to chase these guys down, and I'm pretty happy that we got all of them at least on record as talking to us anyway.
That's right, man. And that's a kudos to the coaches too, man. They always give us their time, and
yep.
And they're happy to talk to us, talk about their teams, and that's why we do it.
Yeah, no doubt, and it makes me feel good that they a lot of them will seek us out after the game, as much as we seek them out, because we have a good rapport with them, and Coach Fitzgerald and Coach Jacobs, man, in 2A. That's definitely a couple of our dudes right there, man. I always like talking to those guys.
That's right. That's two class acts and two good programs.
Yes, sir. Well, Lee, are you ready to move on to 3A?
I'm ready when you are, man.
All right. Well, let's swipe the screen, and guess what pops up?
Alcoa.
Alcoa, and that's they've kind of defined 3A for a long time, Lee, and this year was no different. Gary Rankin, I think, get his 16th title as a head coach. between Alcoa and obviously Riverdale. I think this was their Alcoa's 19th state title as a program. Another 35-0 shutout, just total domination, start to finish by the Tornadoes.
Yeah, man, Mike, this was just total offense, man. 466 yards to 85.
Yeah, that's a heck of a stat, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, Alcoa, I think, is as good as you're going to find.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter who they match up against. I know Maryville, it gets them a lot of times, but it's always a tight score. And they're just defensively, they're just good, man. I mean, they're just really good. But, one thing that kind of stood out to me, Mike, yesterday is typically when Alcoa, you see them in a finals, man, they're trying to pound you running that football.
Right.
Yesterday or the other day, man, Caden Buckles had a phenomenal game.
That's a good point.
I mean, I was surprised. I was thinking run, Alcoa's just going to come down here, control the clock, run it, be physical, play good defense, and get out of here, man. But they I thought, opened it up.
Well, you got to give Milan credit for that, Coach Diffie and his bunch, Lee, because I think they came in with the mindset, they're not going to get beat on the ground. And, it was very obvious they come out the gate, they're going to see what Caden Buckles. I don't think he got eligible until the 12th game. I think that's what Coach Rankin told us.
Right.
So with the new quarterback, I thought that was a good game plan for Coach Diffie and them to key on the run game and see if Caden Buckles had the moxie to win the game. And boy, did he. 19 of 24, 288 yards, 2 TDs. And we talked to him after the game, Lee, and it's a phenomenal young man. I really had a lot of respect for, what he brought to the table on and off the field.
Yes, sir. It was you could tell he's a very poised young man.
Yeah. Ahmad Sankey had 80 yards rushing. Caden Buckles, quarterback, in addition to 288 yards passing, he rushed for 66 yards. Cam Burton wasn't really used a lot on offense. He had, obviously he was a big playmaker for him on defense. He had 32 yards. Look at the other side of the line. They did a real good job with our boy Anthony Brown, Mr. Football finalist. He only had 24 yards on 6 carries. I don't think he had any receptions, Lee. So they did a real good job containing him.
They're just defense, man. Alcoa's defense is just so good. They're just good.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam did have 6 tackles on defense, and Brown had 8 tackles for Milan on defense. So they were being utilized just on the opposite side of the ball more so in this game.
Right.
You want to hear from the Godfather, Lee?
Let's do it.
Let's hear what Coach Gary Rankin had to say about his 16th win as a head coach.
Coach Rankin here with Mike Molder. Coach, big win for you guys, win number 453. I think that's your 16th title for you personally, 19th for Alcoa. How hard was this compared to others because of all this COVID and all this stuff you and I talked about pregame?
I didn't think we got better the last 3 or 4 weeks in practice because we had so many kids missing from time to time. I don't know if it affected us during the games, but during practice, I don't think we're as good as we could have been at times, but it didn't show that tonight, so we overcame it somehow. But it was difficult, and not knowing what kids you might lose at certain times, so it was a little scary. I thank the good Lord we got to this point and we got to play this game, and I appreciate the Tito's AA, everything that they've done to get us to this point.
Coach, first time seeing Caden Buckles for me personally. I thought he had a heck of a game for you.
He had a great game. He played well, played smart, great teammate. He was ineligible for 12 weeks and probably one of the best teammates we had during all that time. So that said a lot about him.
What about Braden Anderson, Coach? Has he been playing this way all year? He's another kid I didn't know about.
No, he can play. He can play. He's a tremendous athlete, great athlete. And, if he wants to, he can go play college ball later on if he chooses to.
A lot of seniors on this team.
A lot of seniors. We'll have to reload and try to see what we can do, but a lot of great talent leaving this team.
Coach, we appreciate you, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I usually try to catch Coach Rankin early, Lee, because he has to he don't have a lot of patience when the knuckleheads in the media that really don't have a clue about what they're talking about come and approach him. So I usually try to catch him before those people pissed him off.
Yeah, well, like we always say, that when you talk to Coach Rankin, you got to have your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to be ready to talk about what he's talking about in the game, and you better know what you're talking about.
He's going to call you out if you say something that isn't right. I found that out a couple times myself. there was a kid that was interviewing him right, when I was waiting to interview him there, and I think one of the questions he asked was, how many more wins you think you'll have, Coach Rankin?
Oh my God.
Gary said, about 100, I'd say, and that kid said 100.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of him, man. He's a dude, man. He's been around a long time, won a lot of football games, hasn't he, Lee?
Oh my gosh, nobody. I don't know if anybody will touch him, Mike.
453 career wins, man, to go along with those 16 championships. I can tell you right now, I would be shocked. I don't know who, Ingle Martin maybe. You got to look at somebody young.
Yeah, I don't know
had a lot of early success.
who can press that right now, but I don't know that you'll see a single coach with that many titles.
No, I don't either.
I
say, looking at it now, Derek Hunt, Ingle Martin. I'm thinking young guys that have had a lot of success. You might see them long term close in on that record, but most people would tell you, 300 is kind of the plateau prior to Gary Rankin that everybody would try to reach. That was if you made that milestone, then that was something. And then Gary's done running out to 453 and counting. Just phenomenal what he's been able to do there.
Well, he's just got a great staff too, man.
Yeah. You talked about that earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, his staff is just unbelievable. Nick's his defensive coordinator. I mean, the guy's great.
Yeah.
So.
But flip side of that, I thought Milan, I thought they looked good. I'll tell you what, let's play, before I get to talk about Milan, let's play Caden Buckles' interview, Lee, the new quarterback for Alcoa. Really impressed with that kid. Here's what he had to say about the game.
Mike Molder with MVP Caden Buckles. Caden, heck of a game, man. How did you feel about the game?
It was great. Very happy to have won. Came in. This is my first one. Obviously, it's our senior's fourth, and it's a great feeling. It's very surreal, honestly.
Well, Bolton transfers out, kind of opened the door for you, man. You really had a great game. One of the best games I've seen up here. I've been coming up here a lot. 288 passing yards. Talk about the game plan coming in.
Actually, the game plan was to run the ball on them, because we had looked at them. We'd watched hours of film, and we had saw that their D-line opened up a lot of things, and we got in, and their D-line wasn't doing what we expected. And then I looked at Coach, and he said, we can throw the ball on them. So I said, okay, open it up with quick game, and then just let me let it loose, and that's what he did. I'm very thankful that Coach trusted me with the offense, to run the offense and lead it, and at the end of the day, we got the win.
Well, Lee and I were watching you pre-game, man. You got a lot of zip on that ball. Anderson had a big game for you guys.
Absolutely. He's always been a guy that we can rely on to just go up and get the ball. 90% of the time, if I throw it to him, I know he's going to catch it. Against Red Bank, he had one of the most phenomenal catches I've ever seen. He was on the ground and two guys were standing, and he still caught the ball. And that's just, to have a receiver like that and know that I can throw it to him and trust that something good's going to happen or nobody's going to get it, it's just amazing to know that I have a guy downfield like that.
Junior year, man, you got any college interest? Anybody looking at you yet?
As of right now, I'm talking to a few coaches, but that's just medial talks. And other than that, I'm just hoping to get to camps and get my name out there.
Keep playing like that, son. You'll hear them.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it, bud.
Good kid right there, Lee. I was really impressed with him, like we said earlier, man. I think the future's very bright for him. He looked really good leading that offense, didn't he?
Man, he was efficient too. Only had 5 incomplete passes and made some really good reads. I think he made, I just think he did a good job, man. He's solid.
Yeah.
Just solid.
Yeah. Flip side of that, Lee, we started talking about Milan, but one thing that really impressed me about Coach Diffie, man, like I said, I think he had a good game plan coming in. He was going to make, Alcoa beat him with the pass, and, unfortunately for Milan, Buckles proved to be up to the task, but Coach Diffie made no excuses. He told us before the game, he said, I didn't come up here to lose. That's the attitude he's instilling in the Bulldogs. Moving up to 4A, man, I like their chances to make some noise again next year.
Yeah, I mean, Milan's so tradition rich, and they've got great facilities, which is going to attract kids. Coach Diffie's young, exciting. I like his attitude about how he wants to play the game. And I think it's going to show, and I think Milan, you're going to hear a lot about him in the future.
Well, let's listen to that interview we had with him now.
Mike Molder here with Coach Diffie. Coach, tough game, man, but the kids played hard the whole game.
They did. Our kids played with a lot of toughness, a lot of class. I'm proud of that.
I thought, you went in 20-0 down at the first half, but I thought coming out in the second half, you guys had a little bit of momentum, made a few changes. What was different there in the second half?
I think our kids settled down a little bit. We didn't have much more success than we had in the first half offensively. It's, sometimes it's just one of those days, and that was one of them. I mean, they were big and they were physical, and they did a tremendous job game planning, and they had all the answers, and we didn't. And so, back to the drawing board. Got to get bigger, faster, and stronger if we want to compete at this level.
This weather may have had a little factor to it.
They played in it too.
Right.
They played in it too. It's not an excuse.
COVID, I wouldn't make an excuse, but COVID year and then the weather, there's a lot of variables here, wasn't there?
Yeah, I mean, there is, but I mean, hey, they managed the variables too, and, they did a good job, and their coaches are, as successful as they are because they've been here before and they've done it, and they continue to produce tremendous players, and, I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of our fight. We need to learn from it. We need to go back. We need to hit the weight room. We need to do some stuff better inside of our own program. And ultimately, anytime you lose, it's on us. It's on me as a head coach to make sure that we get it right going forward.
Moving up to 4A next year, correct?
That's right.
We look for you at a different time slot next year then.
Oh, I don't like 11 o'clock.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That was Coach Diffie Lee. Really impressed with that young guy. Like I said, I think he's only 32 years old. No, I'm sorry. That was Chris Smith. I'm not how – he's definitely not that old, but I was really impressed with him.
Yeah.
Well, what was your take on Coach Diffie?
Well, like I said, he's just a young guy, and I think I like his attitude. I like how he handled his players. That game got pretty ugly. I think his players kept their composure. I think he kept the sidelines composure. Sometimes that's hard to deal with in that kind of situation, and that just shows you what kind of program he's establishing. And only good things to say about it. I think he's going to be, back in the hunt every year.
Well, they swapped to Sullivan at quarterback there, mid-season, and they started that allowed them to use Anthony Brown in a number of different ways, lining him out. I think they had him in the backfield some, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they had him in the slot. In the slot.
Yeah, they had him.
Did a lot of different things with him. He's a versatile kid.
He is, man, and we've been on him all year. I've been really impressed with what Anthony's been able to do, Lee. And we did
defensive side of the ball. He played great. 9 tackles.
Yep, he did. So, let me get his interview in right quick, and this is what Anthony. That's my boy Anthony. Me and him jab each other a little bit on Twitter. He's a good kid. Here's what he had to say about the game.
Mike Molder here with Andy Brown. Andy, tough game, buddy, but good season.
Yes, sir. Man, we just trying to come back, do the same thing next year. We gonna chase the gold ball. It ain't over.
What'd you think? What was the big difference in the game? You guys weren't able to move the ball. Was it defense a lot different from what you guys used to seeing?
Yeah, man. They fast and big and physical up front. It's a great organization, well coached. They've been doing it for a lot of years. We came in here with our head high. We just tried to put up a fight. I feel like
it's tough, baby. It's tough. I know. You was at Liberty last year. You was giving me a hard time. You remember that?
Yeah.
But, hey, man, you backed it up this year. Great season for Milan. What kind of offers you got, man?
Right now I have Alabama, Duke, Michigan State, Central Michigan, UTM, Austin. It's countless. Them the main ones. Them the ones I can remember. I talked to a lot of coaches, but man, I only get to pick one school, so I'm just keep going.
What about 99 for Alcoa Anderson? He was a pretty tough guy to guard today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was an athlete. They are athletes, man. They got a nice organization over there.
Hey, Andy, I appreciate it, brother. Keep up with me on Twitter. I'll keep up with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Lee, as Anthony Brown, that's going to wrap up our 3A recap again. Total domination by Alcoa. Lee, you ready to move into 4A, my friend?
I'm ready, man.
You always
I am ready.
That's why I like you, Lee Teat. You always ready. Well, 4A was more the same, man. Our guy Sean Wooden and the Cyclones, man. Another big win for those guys. What were your thoughts on that game, buddy?
Well, just a very professional performance. That's all I know to say. I mean, that is a team over there.
Yeah, no doubt.
The way they carry themselves, the way they conducted themselves during the game, it was a very efficient performance. If you look, Mike, total offensive plays, Haywood actually ran more plays.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know,
41-14 was the final. I'm sorry, Lee. I forgot to say the final. Elizabethton did win that 41-14.
Yeah,
go ahead.
41-14. First downs were even, 16-16. Total yards was about a 50-yard difference. Time of possession, Haywood had it. But the big thing for me was the third down conversions, man. Elizabethton converted on a bunch, and Haywood could not get off couldn't convert. But just Elizabethton, man, I don't have enough good things to say about Coach Witten, but I think, too, one thing that hurts, and I mean, there's just a fact, the path you have to take in the 4A side through the east of having to get through Greenville, having to get through Anderson County, to get into the final games, man, that is in Nolensville.
Yep.
You know, that is a gauntlet. So when you get to the championship game off the east side, you are very tested.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, week in and week out throughout the playoffs. And I'm not taking anything away from Haywood, because Haywood overcame some tremendous odds this year to get to that game.
2,957 attended that game, Lee. I believe that was the biggest attendance up there, that at least to that point, wasn't it?
I believe so, man. You know, Elizabethton had a crowd, buddy.
Jake Roberts of Elizabethton was named the MVP of the game. He had a big game for him, Lee. I was impressed with him. Offensively and defensively. I think he had 79 receiving yards. I believe he also had a couple of picks, did he not?
I believe so. And then, you know what was interesting to me, Mike? Man, what about Parker Hughes, dude? That dude is a good-looking kid.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he is a good-looking kid.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, they got a lot. Really, Bryson Rollins didn't have to do a lot. Last year, Lee, he was kind of the cog that made everything go, but they didn't really have to have a whole lot out of him. I think he had 30 yards rushing. And, normally he's a pretty efficient at running the ball. Now, he did have a good passing day, 9 of 13, 172 yards, 2 TDs. You mentioned Parker Hughes. He had 5 catches for 75 yards. Jake Roberts, we just mentioned him, 2 catches for 79 yards. And on the other side of the ball, looking at Taylor had 80 yards for Haywood. He was their leading rusher. And then Newbern, we mentioned him to Coach Smith, the quarterback. Now, Lee, he didn't begin the season as a quarterback. He was a DB. He stepped into that role out of necessity more than anything. They didn't really have anybody to run that offense. And, man, he took a beating yesterday in that 4A game, but he kept coming at them, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And, like I said, hats off to Haywood. They had an odd year, man. They did not start out well, and then with the COVID things going on, and it's just amazing they even got there. I'm just being straight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself, and the hats off to them. But I mean, they just ran into Elizabethton, who top to bottom is probably one of the better teams in the state.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And they've got a lot coming back. Now they have got a lot of seniors, but they got a lot of key components coming back next year, including Rollins. So You know, they're gonna be a load again next year, Lee. Let's play what Coach Sean Witten had to say about that back-to-back state title.
Mike Molder here with Coach Sean Wood. Coach, any better the second time around?
Well, it feels really good. When you're really prepared, you guys have worked really hard this year. When you've been number one all year long, have that expectation, have that pressure just build up. You know, we kind of wanted to let it all out today. The frustrations, just all the things we've had inside of us. The last 2 weeks, we've been on a roll. We scored on 11 straight possessions. But when you're the most prepared football team, you get these kinds of results.
I think one of the big things today for you guys, I think you were 10 of 14 on third down. You was able to keep the ball, keep possession, so that's big for you.
Well, we didn't give up the big plays. We got a really good cushion. We were able to have a lot of good football players make plays. But when you get off to a great start, you know, guys get ready to play. You know, today we wanted to be selfish. You know, we wanted to do it for each other. We wanted to come out here and defend our title. 30 games in a row, 24 months. It's been amazing.
Morton, Stewart, Hughes, huge games on defense. Talk about them just a minute.
Well, our offense gets a lot of the credit, but our defense really stepped up today. They're on the field for most of the time in the second half, but we just had to eliminate the big play. We knew they're fast. We knew they're going to get the boundary. Had a lot of speed. To hold these guys to 14 points is pretty credible today.
Heck of a season, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Lee, we are back. Sorry about that, folks. I was catching up on a live chat. I saw Coach Burnham had mentioned that Summit appreciates us doing this, and heck, we enjoy doing it, don't we, Lee?
Yes, sir.
One of the things about it, and you're talking about the live chat, our guys, man, we got a chance to meet Big Dave and Lawman, and got a picture made with them, and man, I really appreciate those guys. Great dudes, and it was nice getting a chance to meet them finally, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. It was good to meet them, and enjoyed the conversation we had, and they're all about the Cyclones, buddy.
Yeah, they are. Well, they're all about high school football in general, and I think that's one thing we have in common with them. We all enjoy this sport, and yeah, good dudes, no doubt. And you mentioned, Lee, in the break, you know, I was talking about Deuce Morton. You know, we didn't mention him, but that kid was a leading tackler. Had a heck of a game as well.
That's my kind of kid right there, Mike. After I heard about his lip.
Yeah,
man,
tell that story.
So we're talking, you know, to his dad, and Big Dave and them are down there, and they tell us, hey, Deuce has got stitches in his lip. And we're like, really? You know, I thought maybe just got his lip split. No, man, this kid, like, takes his whole bottom lip and detaches it from his chin last week. in a play, and plays the whole rest of the game with his chin strap holding his lip in place.
Yeah. Yeah, they said literally if he took his chin strap off, his lip would fall down below his chin. I mean, and he played, what did he say, Lee? Over 3/4 he played like that?
Yeah, and
that's tough.
Here he is. He's not eating solid food half a week, and he's got stitches in his bottom lip, his upper lip, and the kid was even brave enough. I think he's gonna play it here in a minute. He gave us an interview.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough one, dude.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and roll that interview, Lee. That's a good lead in. This is Deuce Morton, what he had to say about the game.
All right, Molder with Deuce Morton. Deuce, man, you got an injury last week. Was you back this week? How you feel, man?
You know, it was a struggle, you know, getting back with the team this week. Missed a few days, but I knew those guys were out there working when I couldn't be out there, and I was able to, you know, get through the pain this week and, you know, finish my last high school football game.
You played a heck of a game. I think you had 14 tackles, led the team, man. Did they play about what you expected them to do?
Yeah, you know, they definitely did what we looked at on film. They switched a few things up, but it was definitely a battle, and I think our offense did a really good job in getting ahead and making it a little bit easier on the defense today, but I think we did a great job all around.
That's quite a feeling getting back-to-back state championships, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It was a great feeling. I think we worked so hard for it, and that was our end goal, and we finally was able to get to that, and it's just a great feeling.
Junior or senior? I thought you was a junior.
I'm a senior Saturday, so it's my last game. But
where are you going? You know where you're going yet?
Not yet. Just keeping options open and hopefully, you know, get a few more offers and, you know, have some few options to pick from.
That game, go enjoy it.
Appreciate it.
All right, Lee, that was Deuce Morton. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and play Parker Hughes' interview as well, as we're getting, we're kind of pushed for time. We're getting slightly behind. What a shock. That's typical what we do, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, man, this is a kid that, man, I I'm kind of envious. I wish I had that look.
There you go. All right, we'll show that interview. They'll see what you're talking about here in a minute.
All right, Molder here with Parker Hughes. Parker, big game for you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What was your thoughts, man? I mean, you started out the game with an interception, then run it back in. You knew things were going your way then, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I couldn't ask for a better start. Definitely with the way the linemen were blocking. I had a perfect hold, got that touchdown run, got the interception. I really think it set the tone, and it got everybody up, and then we had like 21 points. We got up, and that was really come out and set the tone.
The defense played good. Morton had a big game. You had a big game. I mean, all you guys you were ready to play today on defense.
For sure, it's been a process. It's been hard. COVID, it's been hard on us. We got here. Unfortunately, at the June, we didn't really think we was going to get to play. So like the fact that we're here, there's no way. As much hard work as we put in, no way we was going to go out. Without a win.
Last game, Parker. Now you're on to college, man. What side of the ball are you going to try to play on, or do you know where you're going yet?
No, I don't know where I'm going, and wherever. I'm willing to play wherever. Honestly, I love football, and hopefully I'm going to continue my career.
Get this going right here, Lee. Get this going right here. That's it right there. Good game, brother. Appreciate you, man.
How about that bicep flex there, Lee?
Unbelievable.
I wish
man.
I'd had short sleeve shirt on so I could, kind of put one up there and show him what it's supposed to look like. But I had the long sleeve shirt on. Yeah, he's a good kid though, man. All them kids are great, and I think that's kind of a reflection of Sean Witten and his staff over there. You don't get to the title game unless you got good kids, Lee, and that's kind of the recurring thing we saw all week. All the kids were great, enjoyed mingling and cutting up with those kids, and the coaches were awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
Lee, we got we better go ahead and get Coach Chris Smith, because that's the first time we had met him face to face, and he's the one I talked about earlier. He's only 32. I had a real long chat with him before the game started about coming over from Germantown and transitioning into Haywood, and really enjoyed talking to Coach Chris Smith and Haywood. They have definitely got the right guy there running that program, don't they?
Absolutely, they do.
All right, Lee, let's go ahead and play that interview.
Coach Smith, tough one, man, but heck of a season for you guys.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, if anybody would have said, week one in the season that we would be here in the state championship, even getting to play football, it's a blessing. Our guys fought all year, and it didn't go the way we wanted to today. But again, if you'd have said we'd be state runners up when the season started, we probably would have took it, to be honest with you, because we didn't know how many games we were going to get to get. I want to thank the TSSAA for their leadership, for allowing us to play this season. Also, my school for allowing us to play. We had a great plan in place that allowed us to play all year. And, go Tomcats.
Coach, not a big discrepancy in total yardage. You guys hung with them. The total yardage is real close. The turnovers are really the difference.
Yeah, and we didn't play our best game. The moment was big for us. I think the momentum got knocked out real quick when they caught that first fade. I could sense our sideline get down on themselves a little bit, and we showed flashes where we were that team that could play and run the football and do it well. But we started to get the momentum again, and then we turned it over, like you said. I mean, costly mistakes in the wrong times end up costing us today.
Talk a minute about your senior quarterback, Huber. Just knocked down all day, got up every time. Tough kid.
Yeah, no doubt. He's a guy, he was a little bit cautious about playing quarterback this season. He was a D-back that agreed to do what was best for the football team. And we told him, well, the best thing in the football team is you playing quarterback, leading us, being tough, being able to run the football, throw it, and he would be an X factor and making some big plays. And he made some big plays throughout the game. Some breakdowns and some plays. He went out and made a big play. And today, like I said, in the wrong situations, we made the wrong plays. But I don't want our team to be defined by that. They had a great year regards. There's a lot of great football teams in the state of Tennessee, and 4A especially to be here in the final two was special for our guys.
Well, Coach, like I said before the game, you're a young guy. You got a lot of football ahead of you. Proud of you, man. Great season.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all guys, y'all's support for what y'all are doing. It's been great. This weekend in Cookeville, the policies, procedures, they got it down pat. You can tell they do a great job. They're used to this, and I really hope they keep it here in the future.
Thanks, Coach.
Chris Smith, good coach right there, Lee. And somebody mentioned, I think Lawman mentioned, good sportsmanship on his part, no doubt.
Yes, sir. And I'll tell you what, Mike, turnovers, were key in that game. I think Elizabethton did what you're supposed to do. They capitalized on all those turnovers. I think they had 4.
Yep.
And the Cyclones turned each one of those into a touchdown with an extra point, and time of possession and things like that. But turning the football over in the title game is kind of kryptonite. I mean, it's going to get you every time. And I think Haywood, the interceptions got him a little bit, but one thing that I like about Coach Smith, he's young, like you said, but a lot of people don't realize, man, who in the world else is 3-1 versus Whitehaven?
Yeah.
That guy beat Whitehaven 3 times out of 4 when he was at Germantown.
Knows how to coach a big game, doesn't he?
Yeah, so that lets you know he knows how to coach, and I think Haywood is in good shape. They're going to be fine, and that's a great hire, and it proved. I mean, they literally had a lot of obstacles just to get to that game. Right. A lot of people don't know about it, but they had a lot of hurdles just to get there, and hats off to that program, and I think you're going to see them pushing every year again. I really do.
I do too, Lee. I totally agree with you, buddy. Well, let's head on into 5A, man, before we get too far behind. And this one right here, Lee, was the ones that made you and I look like geniuses, because I don't think anybody else had Summit winning a state title this year. We had Summit as our preseason number 1. We had Elizabethton as our preseason number 1. We had Alcoa. We missed on South Pitt. We missed on Trousdale County. And we had Oakland in 6A. So, not bad. Not bad. I think all of our teams were in the finals other than Trousdale County. So, pretty good season for the Friday Men event.
I think so, buddy.
But I was probably more proud of this one than any of them, especially, the path that Summit had to take with Keaton Wade getting injured, at the start of the season. The job Destin Wade did leading that team through the finals was phenomenal, wasn't it, Lee?
I think so too, man. And the thing that impresses me about Summit, and they don't, Destin gets a lot of the credit, as he should. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. I think he went for 236 combined yards. He ran for like 90-something, 101 yards, threw for 130-something yards. He gets a lot of the credit, but I'm going to tell you something, man. They are so dang good up front on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Because Oak Ridge, Joe Gaddis said his offensive line might be the best he's had.
Right.
And I thought defensively, Summit handled them. I really did. I thought they got in there and mixed it up and had a great game plan. And I think Coach Coleman, I think that's the thing, is his fronts do very good.
Brady
they play
Pierce,
good in the trenches, buddy.
I'm sorry. I was going to say Brady Pierce had a huge game for them as well.
Oh, man, crazy.
I think he had 30 yards rushing, but he had 88. He was the lead receiver with 88 yards. He had a couple of picks. He had a pick 6. Man, I thought potentially he might get mentioned for MVP up there in the game, but you couldn't argue giving it to Destin, because they no doubt they wouldn't have been there without Destin. But Brady Pierce, man, he was as much of a factor in that title game as anybody, I thought.
Oh yeah, well he had that 29-yard touchdown interception, or 29-yard interception return.
Yep.
That scored on, but the kid punted the ball 4 times. He returned. Yeah, he had punt returns. He punted. He had 6 tackles, 30 yards rushing, interceptions. He was a difference maker in the game. He really was. And what a time to step up and do all that.
The final in this one, Lee, we didn't even say, was 28-7. But Summit was in control the whole time. They led at halftime, 21-7. They were on their own worst enemy, though. I think they had 16 penalties. Lee?
Oh my gosh, yeah, but that was because the dang referees was wanting TV time on my TV 30.
You're not supposed to say that, Lee.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It was seemed to be a bit excessive to me. 25 total penalties in this game between the two teams, but I think if Summit had been a little more disciplined, this one might have been a lot worse than what it was. But I hated it for Mitchell Givens, man. He's had a heck of a career there at quarterback for Oak Ridge. I think he leaves there with a lot of passing records for Oak Ridge, but he was 15 to 34, 121 yards. I know that's not the way he wanted to go out, but credit that defense for Summit for a lot of that.
Well, Mike, when is the last time? I bet if you look through probably the last 5-6 years of Oak Ridge statistics, I don't know that they've ever been held to 145 yards in a game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Summit just did a good job on them.
Yeah, no doubt. It was, you're right. 145 total yards versus 304 for Summit. Yeah, as much as anything, you got to credit that defense for that win.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Let's hear what our buddy Brian Coleman had to say about the game, Lee.
Mike Molder here with Coach Coleman. Hey, man, I told you last year you're going to get it this year. How happy are you, buddy?
Well, you set the expectations so high, we just had to make you look good. So we appreciate the preseason, number one, but that was a lot of work what a season. Oh, man, it was so difficult to even play football, you know what I mean? And it's just extra special. They had to put a star next to this one because it was tough to get. Happy for these kids, happy for the community, man. They fought their tails off. Just so proud of them. It's an awesome feeling for sure.
You probably got a record tonight that I don't think you probably were looking for.
Penalties.
16 penalties for 119 yards.
They were a little ticky-tack when we go down, put our hand down, and we bring a guy in motion. They wanted more than a second. I don't know why this crew's done that. I don't know. We've done it all year and have not got a single penalty all year. We don't change what we do. So they just knick-knacked on that, and it was ugly, man. It was ugly, but thank goodness.
Well, let's get to the bright spot. Brady Pierce had a big game for you guys, running the ball, big interception, kind of swung momentum. Talk about him for a minute.
He's a player, man. Him and Jolly are about the only two that play both ways. Of course, we did use Destin a lot both ways tonight. But Brady's just a football player, man. Coach Melton loves him because he's a safety. He's the quarterback of our defense. He's just kind of a throwback guy. He's not flashy looking, but man, he's just a football player.
Last question, Destin Wade, man, what a year this kid's had, Mr. Football finalist. If he doesn't get it, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, and I hope people understand how many games he played or how many quarters he played during the regular season. I hope that doesn't hurt him because, you look what he did throughout the playoffs. He's a dude throwing and running the ball. He protects the football when he's throwing. He got a whole lot better throwing the football. And that's what colleges want to see, I believe. He said he wanted to be a college quarterback, and I think he's proven that he is.
Coach, go enjoy this, buddy. Thank you
so much. Thank you, guys.
Almost got him riled up, Lee. Did you catch that? Talking about them penalties.
Oh yeah, he was upset about it, and I don't blame him. That's just, some of them was legit, but man, come on.
Yeah, he's a class act, man. I love Coach Coleman. We've been interviewing him for years, and look what he's done with this Summit program, man. Look where they were at before he got there, and look where they're at now.
Right. Well, you know what I told you.
Pardon?
You know what I told you yesterday about when the first time I stepped foot over there and I saw his field and how his facilities looked and how his field looked. Guess what? His team plays the same way. They take pride in what they're doing.
It kind of shows, you're exactly right, how well you take care of your field. I think that speaks volumes as to, how much you think of your program.
That's exactly right.
And, well, never mind. I was going to go in the other direction. I was going to mention a couple of fields that are a mess and the programs aren't doing much, but I probably don't need to go there, Lee.
Yeah, well, it's the truth.
Yeah.
It shows.
Well, what about Joe Gaddis, man? Hats off to him. I was really impressed with Joe Gaddis.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer, a class act.
Yes, sir. Very class act.
I hate it for him to get back there, but it's unfortunate. It is what it is. I thought this game would be a lot closer. Matter of fact, I think I said in the preview show last week, I thought this 5A game would probably be the closest game up there. It didn't work out that way. Of course, I didn't know that Keaton Wade would be back, and he was effective on that defense. They're obviously a much better defense with him in there. He
another tough kid right there too, man.
He's a tough kid. He's a big kid, man.
Yeah.
Those kids are going to make really good college players in a couple of years, I think.
I think so too, buddy.
Let's hear what Coach Joe Pa had to say. Coach Joe Gass, let's hear what he had to say about this game.
Mike Molder here with Coach Joe Gass. Coach, tough game, man, but what a season you guys have had.
It was a great season. Not something that the guys probably want to hear tonight, but it was a great season for us and great turnaround for us. Proud of the guys. Wish we could have done it tonight, but really proud of them.
Mitchell's had a good season for you guys, had a good career for you guys. Tough one for him, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, tough one for all of us, but he's had a great career along with a lot of other guys.
I thought your defense played pretty good, Coach. Bourbon, Cole had big games for you. Talk about your defense for a minute.
Defense has been great all year. Offensively, we didn't do enough to help our defense in the first half, especially defense stayed on the field too long. We didn't get much going in the first half until right at the very end of the half offensively, but our defense, as always, played really well for the most part.
We thought the officials wanted a lot of TV time tonight. I don't think I've seen that many flags. I think it was 25 flags between the two teams. That was. Have you seen that?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, Coach, good season, buddy, and we appreciate you joining us on Friday Main Event. Always great talking to you.
Thanks,
and good luck next year.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Joe Gaddis, Lee, good dude right there, man. He's been doing it for a long time. Been very successful at it.
Yes, sir.
All right, Lee, before we finish out, unfortunately, I didn't get any of Summit's kids, man. We were going to try to grab Pierce, and he made a beeline to the locker room as soon as the presentations was over. I wanted to get him. Then I was going to get the twins, the Wade twins, and Mo Patton had them huddled up over there. I think he had them for about 15 minutes, so we couldn't get them either. So I wasn't going to argue with Big Mo. I wasn't going to try to ease in on him. So we wasn't able to get the Summit, but, that's the way it goes. You notice we didn't get players from each team a lot of times, Lee. The losing team, and I'll give you a good example, Brentwood, one of the main kids I wanted to get was
Granzow.
Kay Granzow, and that loss hit him emotionally really hard. So I just feel kind of weird, when they're emotionally in that place trying to get an interview from them. So,
right.
A lot of times, and my kids were the same way. That last game of that senior year is tough on them.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times those are the kids they put out there for us to interview, and and they're a lot of them are teared up and very emotional, and it just doesn't make for a good interview. But Mitchell Gibbons, he was kind of the exception to that. We did get a chance to talk to him, Lee, and here's what Mitchell had to say.
Mike Molder here, Mitchell Gibbons. Mitchell, you had a heck of a career here. Tough to see it in this way, but you guys fought tonight.
Yeah, we did. Just to get here is a great experience, and obviously you want to come out on top, but that didn't happen tonight. We just fell a little short. But it was a long season, and we started out 2-3, and just to get through the playoffs, and everybody wrote us off and doubted us, and we came all the way here. We just came a little short, and that happened. So.
This year of COVID, man, it's really a different season for you guys. Talk a minute about getting through all the protocol and getting here, and what it meant to you as a senior to do that.
Yeah, Coach Gaddis talked to us about COVID probably every practice, and made sure we were careful. And our seniors, it meant a lot to them. So we made sure to keep our distance and wear our masks.
Well, you battled, son. I was proud of you. I thought you played a real good game tonight, and good luck in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Sorry about that, Lee. I had my mic hot there during that interview. Hopefully I didn't mess it up too much talking over Mitchell, but good kid right there, man. He's had a great career there at Oak Ridge, so I think future is bright for that young man.
Oh, yeah. Whatever he endeavors to do, he's going to be successful.
You can tell by that interview, man. He's definitely got his head screwed on straight.
That's exactly right.
Well, Lee, are you ready to roll into Class 6A title game? Last one, my friend.
Last one, buddy.
Last hoorah for Friday Main Event in 2020. Been a crazy season.
Yes, sir.
Well, 6A, man, just like we told everybody in the preseason, it was all Oakland. The Patriots just too much, man. They had a heck of a run through the playoffs and ended in that huge win in Class 6A, 56-33. A lot of points scored in this game, wasn't it, Lee?
It was, man, but first half was the Jordan James show. I call him Momo. I've been knowing the kid since he was in middle school, and
right.
Kid goes 23 touches for 230 yards.
That pretty much says it all, doesn't it? And like
yeah,
you said, most of that was in the first half.
And then Patterson on top of that, Mike, both of those kids last night averaged 9.8 yards a carry. That's pretty ridiculous.
Guess what, Lee?
Yes, sir.
Both those kids are back next year.
Yes, sir. I know that. And man, unbelievable performance. Unbelievable performance also by their offensive line.
Yeah.
They did a very good job.
And the defense looked good, Lee. I mean, obviously they gave up a lot of points, but a lot of those were late in the game. I don't know if he still had – I assume he still had the starters in, but, look, as late at the end of the third quarter, I think it was 49-18.
Yeah, I think he kind of shut it down a little bit. And I do know that he had some subs in later in the game.
Yeah.
But, we'll hear it here in a minute when Coach Creasy with the interview. But, man, he only loses 2 starters on defense.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be the preseason #1 again next year in 6A for us anyway.
So yes, sir, I would think so. You'd have to be.
Jordan James was named the outstanding player. Big attendance last night, Lee. 3,544 in attendance for that game.
Right.
That was the biggest by far, I think, output as far as attendance on the season. It was a beautiful day. It did get cold last night. I think the temperature was 37 degrees at kickoff, but it was clear, man. It really wasn't. It didn't feel that bad out on the field, did it?
No, sir. I don't think the weather had any effect on the game. Obviously the kids are over there and they're not feeling anything except excitement. But outstanding performance, man, by the Oakland Patriots.
Yeah, we mentioned Coach Creasy. I thought Schlachter did a really good job managing that offense. Of course, Horton had a big game, had a couple of interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
He's legit D1, man. He's going to go somewhere big, no doubt. But dominating. But I hated it for Kay Granzow, man. That kid, I don't know of any kid with more heart in the state of Tennessee. He's tough as nails. I told Coach Crawford last night, man, he's throwback, he's old school, and the fact that Creasy mentioned him in the pregame as a concern, that shows you the respect his opponents have got for him.
That's right. Well, I mean, he didn't have a bad night, Mike.
No.
He went 20 of 32 for 186 yards with 3 TDs. I mean, that's pretty solid performance. It's just, they just had a hard time defensively stopping Oakland. Right. They just had a hard time. House, he's legit too, man. I mean, those kids are fast. There was a lot of speed on the field. They were flying around. And another thing, hats off to Brentwood, man. They never quit.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They played till the darn whistle, the last horn. They played.
Onside kick. And,
yes, sir. So hats off to them. I mean, they competed, So that's all you can ask for.
Granzow got hurt late in that game, Lee. Injured his arm.
Right.
His backup, Davis White, came in and did a phenomenal job leading that offense, 5 of 9, 124 yards, 2 TDs. And I mentioned to Coach Crawford, he's got to feel pretty good about the fact that, his backup, which will be back next year, did a good job, got some valuable experience there in the state title game.
He did, and, and then that's another thing I fully expect, those Williamson County teams, man. You got the Ravenwoods, the Brentwoods, and Franklin made a run there late. They play good football over there, and I think they're ready to. One of those teams will make a deep run, and Brentwood's going to be right in the mix again.
Yep. Let's hear what Coach Creasy had to say about the win, Lee.
Mike Molder here with head coach Kevin Creasy. Coach, fifth title for you personally, 5th for Oakland. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels good, man. They're all great, and they're all special. And this year in particular, man, it's just been a weird year altogether. And to actually get to play football and play 15 games is awesome.
Well, Coach, the guys, James, Patterson, Horton, they get a lot of talk. But I thought Schlachter, man, coming in as a senior, he doesn't get you beat. He does what he needs to do, and he takes what the defense gives him.
Yeah, Schlechter did a great job tonight, man. He been a long snapper for a couple years, so you knew he had guts and you knew he had nerves of steel. So for him to pull that ball down and make 2 huge first downs, man, not only were they first downs, but they just killed the momentum that Brentwood had going for them.
544 yards total, 458 rushing yards. But what impressed me, Coach, is Steven Jackson's defense. They're always ready. They're prepared. He does a great job.
Man, he has them ready every week, and there's one senior on that defense.
Wow.
One senior on that defense. Victor Stevenson getting hurt his defense quite a bit. They were throwing it around on the side that Victor's usually on. And so Coach Jackson never made an excuse, man. He just made adjustments, and like I said, he's always got those guys prepared. They play so hard. That's the biggest thing. They're undersized, they're small guys, and they're young guys. And a lot of those guys are, playing inexperienced. They don't have a lot of playing time under the belt, but they play hard, and they play hard for Coach Jackson. That just speaks volumes for him.
That offense played pretty hard for you too, buddy. You did a heck of a job calling that game. Give you a little credit here.
Well, it's easy when you got those different playmakers, you know what I'm saying? But I'd like to give a shout out, O-line, tight ends, H-backs. I thought they did a great job. We got kids out there hurt, playing injured, playing for each other. I was really impressed with, all our guys that had the bumps and bruises and fought through it. And, Cassius Thorpe's out there blocking his butt off, and he's got a torn ACL. A torn ACL, man. That just tells you what he thinks about this team and his teammates, and it's just awesome to be around guys that, they're willing to kind of sacrifice and put their own personal glory behind them just to, help other people out, and that's what happened tonight. We had a lot of good blocking, and then, of course, Jordan and of course, you got to talk about Patterson too. They both did a heck of a job tonight running the ball.
Yeah. Coach, Victor Stevenson accepting the trophy, I thought that was a good gesture on your part and the team's part.
I'm telling you, Victor, when we lost him, man, it was like losing 4 people because he's a punt returner, kick returner, wildcat quarterback, slot receiver, cornerback, lockdown corner. He can play running back. He just does a little bit of everything for us, and I think the last couple weeks our guys kind of made up their mind they were going to play for Victor. And, that's what makes a team like this special, playing for somebody like Victor. And we had 3 or 4 seniors that got hurt this year, and that's unfortunate. That's part of the game. But, for them to rally and play hard for a guy like Victor, who is our team captain, and he deserved to go out there and get our trophy.
Coach, enjoy this one, man. It's a good win for you guys. Thanks. Appreciate your time tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, bud.
All right, Lee, that was Coach Creasy, obviously giving credit to Coach Jackson, man. That dude's he's the real deal, isn't he, Lee?
Yeah, man. I've known Steven for a long time. He was a phenomenal football player at Gordonsville, a really good football player. And then he went, coached at Trousdale County for a while with Coach Creasy, and they're very familiar with each other. But Steven gets it on defense, man. He understands and sees things before they're going to happen, and just a good addition to that program, man, for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to MVP of the 6A game, Lee, Jordan James. What a heck of a season that kid's had, and here's what he had to say about the game.
Mike Molder here with Jordan James. Jordan, a big game for you tonight, man. I think you set a few records tonight. What a half, brother.
Yeah, it's just my team, man. My offensive line did great things for me, which allowed me to get those 6 touchdowns, 200 and however many yards I had. So that's all I can see.
I'm going to go old school on you. I was talking about Randy Moss and him. You reminded me. What do you think, Lee?
I think Barry Sanders.
That's what I was going to say. Barry Sanders, dude. You need to watch some film. You ever heard of Barry Sanders?
Yeah, I watched Barry when I was little.
Oh, okay. That's who he reminds me of, Lee.
Great compliment. Great compliment.
Jordan, I was asking Isaiah, you got a lot of colleges looking at you, man. You made any decisions yet?
No, I dropped my Final Four a few months ago, but that's about it.
Give them to me, man.
Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Hey,
Yeah.
you don't know which one I want you to go to?
Tennessee. Why do you know Tennessee?
You play a heck of a game, bro. I've been watching you all season, man. You're fun to watch. You enjoy this win. You guys earned it, man. And we'll see you again next year, maybe.
All right, I appreciate y'all.
Thanks.
Good kid right there, Lee. I enjoyed the interview. I know you've known him a lot longer than I have, but he's got his head screwed on right. He's a good kid, isn't he?
Yes, sir. And I made the comment last night to some guys that were texting back and forth. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize, man, like I said, I call him Momo, but Momo's got great hands. I mean, he's an every down back, and I think he'll be able to play at the Power 5 level. And he'll probably be an every down kid.
Well, he's got a lot of big schools after him, and you saw which way I was trying to get him lean, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Lee, another big cog in that offense and actually defense. I think Isaiah can play whichever side he wants. He's got that kind of talent. We had him on as well. Here's what he had to say about the game.
Mike Molder with Isaiah Horton. Isaiah, a big win tonight, man. Big game for you personally with a couple of interceptions. Talk about it, man.
When you work hard every day of the season and you just come out here as a team, as a brotherhood, first half we showed we have a great running game, you know, and it's just honor. It's like very proud of ourselves. I'm proud of my team, what we did, accomplished.
How much difference is it here at Oakland than it was over at Dinsworth, man? How do you like the situation over here?
Yeah, I like it a lot better over here. You know, it was a rough 2 years, my first start of high school, but, you know, me and my parents, we sat down, we thought about it, what was going to be our next move. We thought Oakland was going to be a best move forward, and it obviously was, and it was. It really was.
One of the best athletes I've seen, man. You remind me of Randy Moss. You could go up and get that ball. What's your plans for the future? I know you got a lot of colleges looking at you.
Yes, sir. I'm getting recruited as a receiver and DB, so, you know, whatever gets me to the next level, I'll do it, and I'm going to do it 110%.
We appreciate you, Isaiah. Go enjoy this, somebody.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Eric Smith in the house, Lee Teat. I saw my former co-host on the Friday main event has joined the talk, joined the chat. I'm sure he's pretty happy. He's been an Oakland alum and an Oakland follower for a long time, but big win for those guys. But Brentwood, Lee, we mentioned it. We kind of talked about it started this segment. We thought they played hard, and Coach Ron Crawford, we caught up with him, and here's what he had to say about that.
Mike Molder here with Coach Ron Crawford. Coach, not the way you wanted to end the season, but good season overall.
Man, I mean, to get here, second time in school history, second time in my 16 years as head coach. And, man, you got to be proud to get to this moment in particular this year, in particular all the things that happened to our squad, the journey we had. So, I mean, you know, the big deal is the process. The big deal is the journey. Our hats off to a football team that's better than us. We played them twice. They're better than us. We left some points out there early. But bottom line is we just couldn't stop them, and you know that's the bottom line. The turnovers, obviously, that 3-minute period right there when we went from hanging in there to being in down 2 scores was tough.
You read my mind. The fumble on the kick return, and then the tilt ball, and that kind of slow momentum. But you guys were in it up there. What about this senior class, Coach? I think it's 41 wins for this senior class. It's been a good one, hasn't it?
No doubt, man. We'll always remember them. Again, so many injuries, so much adversity for our football team this year with our team and personal. That the journey is the issue, and we gotta remember the journey and how grateful we were to play in this game. It's been our first time at Cookeville, and now our younger guys see what it takes to get there, the journey to get there, and then also what kind of team you gotta beat when you get here.
Yeah. Last question, Coach Cade, obviously been a leader for you for a long time. He gets injured. Junior White, the quarterback White comes in. He does a really nice job. You got to be happy about the future with him running the show next week.
No doubt, man. He came in the first round playoffs and hit 17 out of 19, 5 touchdowns when Cade injured his knee. So, yeah, man, he's a battler. Knows our system. You know, he's done all the right things to get to this point. So we look forward to developing him and having a competitive team next year.
Coach, we appreciate your time, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Good season.
Thank you very much.
All right, Coach. That was Coach Ron Crawford, Lee. Class act, man. I really enjoy catching up with Coach Crawford. He's like all the rest of the coaches, always willing to talk to us, and he's one of the best in the business, no doubt.
Oh yeah, he's super good guy, and always gives us access. And man, the guy's, like we always say, he coaches. He's a good coach, and he shows.
Lee, I guess that's going to conclude the 2020 COVID season in high school football for the Friday Man event.
This has been the craziest year. I mean, I know I'm not over there, but that's befitting of the year, man.
Well, we got some bad news when we were up in Cookeville yesterday.
We did.
Lee,
We did.
And I'm sure many of you have already heard Coalfield head coach Keith Henry succumbed to complications with COVID. He passed away yesterday, but I got a chance to meet him up in Cookeville a few years ago when he had his Coalfield team up there, and man, he's a class act. Great dude, great individual, great person, and definitely a loss to the coaching fraternity this week.
Yeah, kind of unbelievable the amount of, how fast, the guy coached last week.
Yeah.
Just a shocker, and yeah, it's a shocker, and it's a big loss for the coaching community. But our condolences go out to that Coalfield community, man.
Yeah, they'll definitely feel the effects of that for a while, man. But again, yeah, we hated to hear that news. It just we were sitting, you and I, matter of fact, we're sitting over there with Krieger, and Murphy Fair was right behind us, and I think Krieger was the one that heard about it first and told us, and you could tell when Murphy heard it, you could tell it really hit him hard.
Right.
So yeah, hate to hear that, man. Really do. But
one more thing, Mike, before we end it, man, is also all year long we've been praying for Mr. McClendon
yes.
down there in Forest, man. And hoping that he's recovering and making some progress. So people that are listening, don't forget about that kid.
Yeah, Nick McClendon, the sophomore at Forest that was injured in the game with Moore County this year. Lee, you're right. He's still down in rehab in is Georgia, correct?
I believe that's right. Yes,
I think that's correct. He's going through rehab down there. But last word I got is he may be able to come home later this month or possibly January. But this kid's got a long road to recovery, and he definitely needs all our prayers, and I appreciate you mentioning that, Lee. I meant to do that and forgot, but yeah, great family, great kid, and we sent him some birthday wishes down there earlier this week, Lee, and
all right.
Hopefully everything works out for the family. I'll kind of put a note in the card. I think God's got bigger plans for that young man than football, so.
That's right.
There's always God's will be done. So hopefully everything will work out for him.
That's right.
Lee, we appreciate CoachT.com. Coach T, Jim Thompson, man, he's stuck with us for 3 years now, and I hope we've done a good job of representing his product. He's his website. I use it daily, as many of you guys do. I love that he provides a platform for all high school sports, not only football, baseball, basketball. I mean, it's a great website, and we're so thankful that Jim Thompson has allowed us to attach our name to CoachT.com, and what a great organization they are over there.
Oh yeah, man, I enjoy that website, and like you said, it's not just football; it's every sport, and we focus primarily on football. But I tell you what, man, my kids participated in multiple sports, and that's a good thing for these young men and women to do, and I'm glad Coach Thompson gives us an avenue and an outlet for it.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank Elaborate Images. Our friend Marcia Howard provides all of our product. Well, fortunately, we was able to pass a little bit of that product on to some people over at Cookeville, including Shane Jacobs, who didn't even wear my darn hat, but We, we appreciate Marcia Howard and Jacket Lover. She promises me she's going to get a online store up for us. They've moved into a new building, remodeling, and she says that she's got so much going on right now, but that's definitely on her agenda to get that done this spring. So I'll post a link to that whenever that gets available. All of our guys on the chat, Lee, Big
Yes,
Dave, Lawn Man, Jacket Lover, all you guys that have been with us, Eric Smith, all you guys have been with us, South Towner. I mean, I'm going to leave somebody out, so I'm going to quit, but we really appreciate you guys, being, if anything, you've advertised the show for us, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us. It's been fun, hasn't it, Lee?
Yes, sir. Like I said, it's been a crazy year, but I've enjoyed it and just glad we got to make it through a year. I'm just blessed to be able to even cover it all year long. I mean, there's a lot of states and counties and communities that had no sports.
Yeah. TSSAA gets a hard time, Lee, but got to give them credit. They
did what they had to do.
They did what they had to do, and they got us to the point where we could enjoy the weekend, and a lot of these teams were able to get their seasons in. So real happy that they were able to get that done.
That's right.
Got anything else, Lee?
Well, sir, like always, man, I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you letting me contribute. And I'm looking forward to what the future holds. I got a youngster that's trying to get fired up. He's actually right now out working on his game. So
that's good. Yeah, I think the future's bright for young Silas, Sheepdog as we like to call him. I think he's got a future in football, and I'm happy for you guys that he loves the sport like we do.
Well, like I said, he's got to grow a little, but we're going to be all right.
There you go. All right, Lee, I guess we're going to cut it off, guys. We'll have a spring show out probably sometime around May. We'll try to keep any news we get, we'll keep it updated on the FridayMainEvent.com, obviously the YouTube channel. You guys share the link here, man. I'm sure we were up against the Titans. I don't even know, man. I've had a crazy day. But I think we could probably share the link. Maybe we get it out there and get a little bit more participation, and we'll see you guys next season. It's been a good one, and for Lee Teat, I'm Mike Molder, and we'll see you guys next season.